Got the house to myself for 1 hour. I am going to make the most of it. Let's do this! Hello, difference makers. On the back of my last video, I have decided that it is high time I do another DnM with a difference maker. So without further ado, let's begin. This time, instead of asking for questions from you guys, I decided to go to a great source. A source that I knew I could trust, and that is a few of my new best friends here in Sydney, here at college. I asked some of my new friends for some discussion topics that I could maybe talk about, and they came up with some really great ideas. So many great ideas, in fact, that I ended up having so much to say that I have written it all down and realized I'm not going to be able to put this in just one video. So I'm going to select a few of the discussion topics to talk to you about today, and I am going to save the others for another time. And my first discussion topic is how to practically deal with stress. And being a college student, oh boy, I can tell you my life is stressful. Stress is a part of life. It is the body's way of preparing you for a difficult situation, releasing hormones into the bloodstream that can help you respond. But if you are feeling stressed a lot of the time, it might be a sign that it is time to change your lifestyle or get some serious help. Some signs that stress may be becoming a larger problem are that you have headaches, feel sick, have sore muscles, have diarrhea or constipation, have indigestion, have poor sleep or find it hard to concentrate, or feel your heart beating faster. You could also feel very nervous or anxious, sad, angry, aggressive, tired, tense. It can affect us emotionally, causing anxiety, depression, eating disorders, if you are older, a drinking problem. It can also even lead to behavioral changes and psychological disorders. Stress can also impact the way that we think and the way that we view our world. That is why I at least think it is vital to understand the signs that stress might be becoming too large of a problem, and understand some of the things that you can do to lessen the effects of stress. I think of a positive statement to tell myself when I am feeling stressed. Different does not mean wrong. I remind myself of things that are going right in my life. I'm a college student at my dream college studying acting, and I've wanted that for a very long time and I've got it now. I picture myself coping in the situation that I am currently stressing about. I set aside time to do some of the things that I enjoy doing. Reading, watching Netflix, making videos. It takes my mind off the current situation that I am stressed about and gives me a bit of time to find my hope again and find some happiness. And sometimes I use relaxation techniques. I'm not a meditation kind of person, but I really enjoy stretching, like Pilates. I'm definitely not a runner, but I don't mind being out in the fresh air, so sometimes I go for walks. And simply breathing is a really good way to calm nerves. I make sure that I am making time for both myself, my relationships, and my social life. I eat well. No sugary drinks and no salty snacks. I take breaks from my work and my study. I write lists and I prioritize what is important and what really does need to be done, or what can be delegated to someone else or be left for another time. And last but not least, I write another list of all of the things that I can control and all of the things that are out of my control. With the things that are out of my control, I fold up and I put away. Sometimes I even put them in the bin. It's not solving anything, but it is helping me emotionally cope with my stress. And by folding them up and putting them away somewhere where I can't see, or even putting it in the bin, I am letting it go. And last but not least, if I could give any piece of advice, it would be talk to people about this. Tell your family or tell your friends, or find a health profession if you feel like that is the stage that you are at. Communication is key. Another topic that I was given by a college friend for this video was, how can you recognize the beginning stages of anxiety so that you can manage it early or maybe even prevent it? I have decided to put this topic in this DnM video this week because of the last video that I made, and I feel like in that video I really only just said that I deal with anxiety. I don't feel like I gave you any information. So here goes nothing. Anxiety is more than just feeling worried or stressed. While stress and anxious feelings is a common response to dealing with a situation where a person feels afraid, it usually passes once that stressor is removed from their life. Anxiety is when these anxious feelings do not go. Sometimes they appear and they can't even be explained. It's ongoing and it exists alone. It stands alone from the negative situation which you might be in. It is a serious condition which, for me personally, makes dealing with my everyday life very difficult. Now, everyone is different, and a lot of the time it is a combination of fear and negative situations that causes anxiety to arise. For me, it was a combination of a mental health history in my family and ongoing stressful events. Some common symptoms include hot and cold flushes, racing heart, tightening of muscles and tightening of the chest, snowballing worries, obsessive thinking and compulsive behavior. But it is different for everyone. Although a panic attack, a sudden feeling that your life could almost end, is the most common symptom of any type of anxiety disorder. Symptoms of a panic attack include shortness of breath, dizziness, rapid heartbeat, choking, nausea, and the cause of panic attacks is unknown, but they are related to a chemical imbalance in the brain, which is caused by the happenings of stressful events or even sometimes just the thinking of stressful events. The brain response leads to physiological changes in the body, such as shallow breathing or a rapid heartbeat. But it really does depend on what type of anxiety you have. A generalized anxiety disorder, phobias, both specific and social, panic disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, and obsessive compulsive disorder. For me, the signs were hidden. I have suffered these symptoms all my life, but they didn't become a serious problem or a panic attack until I moved here, until I moved out of home, moved across the country, was living in somebody else's home, in a strange new city, until I took on study for the first time in 5 years. I was trying to prove to myself that I am already capable and more than qualified to achieve everything that I want to achieve. But in honest truth, I was just putting myself in difficult situations and was creating difficult situations for myself to have to deal with. But you see, the problem is that for a person dealing with a phobia of like a social anxiety, it is not exactly these symptoms or these difficult situations that cause the problem. It is what people might perceive of me if they see me with rapid breathing or strangely sweating or crying uncontrollably. I perceive these symptoms as being obvious to other people, when in reality, I know that it's usually never seen. People never notice. But I have avoided situations where I fear people may notice something if I start to feel anxious, like I am going to be putting myself in a position where I might be humiliated or embarrassed, I tend to avoid it. And if avoidance is not possible, I don't give up. I push myself to participate, but it only makes the problem worse, because then I feel like I'm saying yes just so that I don't miss out, or yes so that people don't think I'm strange. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that if you feel like your stress levels have become anxiety, talk it out. Communication is key. I've already said that. Communication is key. If you are having some of these symptoms and you don't know how to handle it and you are wondering if you might be suffering from anxiety, talk to someone about it. A family member might be able to help you with some research to look further into the different types of anxiety disorders. If you get to that stage and are a little confused as to what you might be suffering from, I suggest maybe finding some help from someone who does suffer from anxiety, hearing what the experience is like for them and how they manage with it. But if you really are fearful of suffering from anxiety disorder, I highly advise that you talk to a health profession. They're going to have already done the research and the study and will be able to help you understand what is happening physically to your body when these emotions take over. And my third and final topic for today's DnM is self-esteem and body image. Now, as a dancer and an actor, I have struggled with self-esteem, self-worth, and my body image throughout my entire life. As a dancer, I have very big muscular thighs, but the rest of me is petite, and it was never really accepted. I was never really fit enough. I was never really strong enough. I was always taught that dancers are beautiful, strong beings, and I don't know if that's the greatest message to send young girls. You need to have, a physical workout regime and make dance something so regimented, but that's how it was for me as both a ballet dancer and an Irish dancer. And as an actor, I am always critiqued and analysed and a lot of the time put down, because you are always learning, you are always developing, and it's great to receive feedback for your art. But it is a very hard environment to be a part of when everyone wants to be centre stage, when everyone wants to be seen, known and appreciated. So a piece of advice that I could give to you guys is what I say all the time. It is not your excellence that makes you different, but your differences that make you excellent. And if you don't know what that means, it means that it is not your acts of work that makes you beautiful. It is who you are, and it is what makes you you that makes you you. You don't need to work to be excellent. You are already excellent. And there are people that already see, know, and appreciate you. You have self-worth, then you have a higher level of self-esteem. When you don't need someone to tell you anything. You can look in the mirror and look at yourself and realize that there are things about you that you dislike, but it's okay. Different does not mean wrong. And I think that is going to be all for today, because my camera is telling me that my SD card is pretty much full and it has gone on for a very long time. I've been filming for, like an hour and a half. Gosh. If you enjoyed it, let me know by giving it a thumbs up. It doesn't really mean anything apart from letting me know that you liked it. And if you really did like it, hit the subscribe button and even let me know with a comment down below. Ooh, that rhymed. And last but not least, let me sign off the way that I always do. It is not your excellence that makes you different, but your differences that make you excellent. And if you agree with me, join me and become a difference maker. Bye!